G'day Bomber fans, that is season officially over for 2024. What a mess of a week, really frustrating month to be a Bombers fan. They let us down, they lifted us up, they let us down again. We were not only belted by the ladder leading Swans, but we managed to piss off every fan by not allowing one of our most loyal players ever to have a send-off game. This will be a really grumpy review, and if you want another grumpy review, go check out Absolutely Essendon. I was over there yesterday, taken to their studio to record another video. And also, apologies if you hear background noise. I think my apartment might be taking off to the moon. There's a lot going on. There's also a concert outside, I'm fairly sure, so it's probably going to be a lot going on in the background, so apologies for that, but let's just get into this one. Alrighty, recap. Now, it was always going to be a fast start. Everyone knew we would win that first quarter. We would jump them. The Swans are a horrible starting team, and we did get the jump on them. We were really dominating early. It wasn't evident on the scoreboard. We only led by 5 points. The second was more of the same. We were controlling the match all over the Swans, keeping them on the back foot, but not really making it show on the scoreboard again. There were some cheeky little highlights to get up and about for, but a boring first half ended with us leading by just over a goal, 29-22, just what you want on a Friday night. You knew the Swans would start to play some good footy, and that is what they did. They really started punishing our lack of scoreboard pressure by putting their own on us. They kicked 6 goals in that third term, we kicked 1. Really poor quarter that set us up for the loss. There was a chance to reduce the margin on the siren. Jake Stringer, if he kicks that goal, we are within a sniff, but of course he missed from point blank range, and that is when plenty of fans walked out early. We started off the final term well. We kicked that early goal, responded after they kicked one back, but the Swans really put us to the sword late. We gave up, we dropped our heads, and they didn't. They kicked 6 more goals, 12 for the half. They eventually ran out 39-point winners in a very dull game of footy, and unfortunately we have to talk about it, so let's do that. Alrighty, well, it was a tale of two halves. The first half we were in control, the second they were in control, and I think it's really telling to split up the game that way. When we controlled the game, we led by 7 points. We had double the amount of inside 50s as them in that first half, but led by 7 points. And in the second half, when they started to get control, they actually made us pay. So when we are the better team, we are 7 points better. When they are the better team, they are 46 points better. It's just a great team up against an average one. We showed that at our best we could match them, but we can't consistently stay at our best. And when they're at their best, we can't match them. We can't build leads. It's a theme all too common with this season. It's frustrating to see us play competitive footy and completely uncompetitive footy in the same game in the space of a quarter, really. We came out after halftime and really crumbled under their pressure, which to their credit, they really lifted. And we were not up to handling it. Our backline was under the pump. That forward pressure, we talk about the pressure we want. That is effective pressure that Sydney displayed against us. Look, let's talk about our inability to hit the scoreboard. It's not new, but I hate looking at that inside 50 column every week. We consistently win it, but are so poor at scoring. 54 inside 50s, and we managed to score just 59 points. We almost outscored our points tally with inside 50s. That is horrible. And it's a few things. I think it was really evident against the Swans just how poor our game plan holds up sometimes. We play such slow and boring footy, and it does reduce scoring when it works for the other team. We saw that in the first quarter. We held them to 3 goals in that first half. That's a tick. And that is what you want, what you get from this kick mark, slow ball movement style of play, but it also means you give your opposition way too much time to set up behind the ball. It's rinse and repeat. We move up slowly, bomb it long, the Swans rebound, we intercept, and that was the first half summed up. There was no scoring, there was no real danger in our play, there was no fun, and it doesn't really help that our ball use just isn't up to standard yet either. Martin on the wing was good, he helped us look better early, but going inside 50 is just not fun right now. I don't really get excited seeing us with ball in hand in our forward half anymore, and that's just weird to say as a footy fan. The last couple of months have been far from exciting. Watching Essendon games is just boring now, and it's not even boring like what we saw with St Kilda last year, where it's effective boringness. We are just a boring team that's average. If we want to start kicking winning scores, we have to have a serious look at the way we want to play. I got to talk about the midfield. I know it looks even on paper when you look at the basic stats, but there were some pathetic efforts in there. For starters, Zach Merritt was completely held out of that game by James Jordan, who was terrific, but he got absolutely no help from his teammates. In fact, the opposite happened. Caldwell, Shield, Parrish, they were good when the ball was around them, but there were some lazy defensive efforts in there as well. That Caldwell one where Goulden just kind of jogged through and left Jai, who's been incredible this year to be fair, but it left him flat-footed. Stuff like that was happening a lot, and it's no surprise they killed us scoring from their midfield opportunities. 7 goals won from stoppages. I feel so bad for our back six at times because they get all the blame for our poor defense, but really it's a team-wide thing. It's a real lack of solid enough structure, solid enough pressure up the field, and solid enough game plan that kills us and our back six. The midfield did them no favours. It was brutal in that second half. Durham was barely spotted in centre bounces. I don't know what's happened there. Has he just had his role thrown away now that Shield and Parrish are back? We looked better when it was Durham in there. We have guys getting heaps of the footy but having no real impact. Shield had 30 touches. Caldwell had 30 on a goal. Parrish had over 25, but I don't think any of them really had a say on the game. I think Heaney, who had 22, was much better. Jordan had 15, and he was better than those three I mentioned. Our game style makes it so disposal counts are skewed. It's easy to look at the stats and say our midfielders played well when they have over 25 touches a game, but I really don't think any would hold their head high and be overly pleased with their performance last night. It's worrying how easily we've crumbled under the pressure lately, and I'm saying this every video, and not pressure like we saw with that Freo game where it was pressure throughout the week, because I feel like that was the only time the club managed to play good footy, when the media was down our backs. But when we had to play good footy in a game, pressure in game, it's summed up by that Stringer miss. That is the highest goal scorer this year for the Bombers, and he cannot handle the moment in the third quarter after the siren, and that isn't new. Kyle Langford did the same on Anzac Day. The entire team did it against Gold Coast and Adelaide. The signs were there early in the season. We're just a weak team that really lacks that killer instinct late in a game, and I know people are going to talk about that Stringer goal against St Kilda. That was from 50 or 60 out on an impossible angle, you know, the one. That's because there's no pressure. If he misses that, no one cares, no one talks about it. He doesn't have to kick those. It's the ones that you have to kick our team seems to just miss, and it's basic, I know, but when you look at the fact that Langford, Stringer and Draper were our three main marking targets on Friday, I wouldn't back one of them in to kick for my life. Same with Caddy. He at least is young enough to have that as an excuse, but we just don't have anyone really reliable when it matters, and there is a reason we haven't won a game after the siren since I don't even know when. We would have to mark it in the goal square to do it. We're just a crumbly club full of crumbly players. I think as disappointing as this game and the season has been, there is so much we are still doing right, and if we manage to fix up the way we progress the ball forward and the way we isolate forwards and find them inside 50, we would be a better team. We're consistently controlling the game against much better sides, but not just really getting that end product to show for it, and we saw some of it early in the year, even early in this game at times. I think we need to see some change to our structure. I think this game proved that Nick Martin is a wingman, and Archie Roberts has come in and allowed him to play more wing minutes. We need class higher up the field. Despite us drafting players for that reason, we need a lot of things, and I really hope we are ruthless with list calls. That midfield just wasn't functioning last night. It's gotten to the stage where our most improved player in Durham is barely featuring there anymore, and of course guys like Hobbs and Sartas and Setterfield can't get a look in there either. We need to clean out of the engine room, hit up the draft more, or target some big fish in the trade period. I know it's a big talking point, but I do think we improved on last year ever so slightly. The issue is, so did every other team, some out of sight. We're getting marginally better every year, a fraction of a percentage better. We had 11 wins last year. This year we have 11 wins and a draw. We've beaten some better teams. I think we have a spine and enough talent to build around. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come together at some stage with this list. There are plenty of reasons to be excited about Essendon for beyond next year. The issue is, there are plenty of reasons to be pessimistic, because the things that would have to improve are things that we've never really seen the club improve on that quickly, and that has been the case for so long. We've been at this stage for a while now, showing signs of improvement and having plenty of talent on the list, but just missing a few too many pieces in the puzzle. I just hope something randomly clicks and we manage to find those pieces, because it's pretty hard being an Essendon fan right now. I know it's a lot of hope building and resulting in the club telling us to remain hopeful. Another year like this in 2025, and I'm ready to start posting weekly match rants rather than match reviews. All in all, just a boring, disappointing night. It started with promise, it fizzed out dramatically. It's the story of our season. It's the story of last season as well. It's highlighted by big areas of improvement that we need to focus on next year, at least. Ball movement, defending the ground, efficiency going forward, and our inability to remain consistent in a game. I would say the club could use this as fuel for next season, this match, but there are 5 or 6 others they can use as well. The year has just gone downhill so fast. We're now out of the finals race, probably going to get belted by the Lions at the Gabba. That is a game I'm really not looking forward to right now. Fans are unhappy, fans are flaking. We made fun of Richmond earlier in the year, but 33k to a Friday night game, that's pretty embarrassing. Membership numbers are low. It's not a fun year at all. It's been highlighted by that decision to leave Heppell out of the team, a decision that I'm never going to understand. Now he can go and get belted at the Gabba. That would be a great farewell game for our favourite Bomber. Let's just get on to the votes. One vote to Jaden Laverty. He was our best defender. He did have some shocking moments, but I feel like he was the one keeping us afloat back there until they ran over the top of us. 2 votes to Archie Roberts. Do I think he was our second best on field? Probably not, but he was the second most exciting. He was actually one of the reasons I stayed for as long as I did. I really enjoyed watching him have a crack at it. And 3 votes to Nick Martin. For me, it's the only player who really deserved votes. He was unbelievable and pushes his case for that All-Australian spot even more now. My role player is Nick Bryan. I thought he was really good in the ruck against Grundy, broke even against him, and that is a win. He often gave our mids first usage as well. He's going to keep his spot next week because of it, which puts more pressure on Goldie for that contract. Any unlucky? Not really. Again, I only really felt like one player deserved votes. I was clutching at straws with my other two. Leave yours down below. Always tough to do after a loss, obviously. That is that. One more of these match reviews to go, and then it is all about the draft and trade period, which is when I really shine. That is Christmas for me. I love the trade period. I love the draft. If you think I post regularly now, just wait until after the season ends. We still got to wait, though. We have that Lions game next week at the Gabba, so yeah, that's going to be fun. Cheers for watching as always, all year, guys. Cheers for watching. I've had a lot of growth this year, which is great. It's been a poor season, but fun to make these videos, and that isn't possible without your support. So thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, and go Bombers.